Welcome to Convo Fango. Today we are joined by Mia Goth, Ty West, and David Corenswet to talk about Pearl. Guys, we were so excited when X came out, and then we find out that we get Pearl, and it's already been shot. So at what stage of the X process did Pearl come to fruition?
Right before we left for New Zealand to make X is where the idea of staying to do two movies came from. Because at the time, the whole world was on pause except for New Zealand, and we had a crew and we were about to build all these locations and create this whole world. And to me, it seemed like a waste to just do that and then tear it down when it was so uncertain if we would ever make a movie again. So the idea of what if we made two movies and stayed in New Zealand started to percolate. And then it was like, well, what would that movie be? And it wouldn't make sense to be a direct sequel to X because we can't just do more people show up at a farm. But we had been spending a lot of time, Mia and I, talking about the Pearl character and her backstory. And it seemed like, well, if we went backwards, we would be using a lot of the same stuff. So we would already have this infrastructure built. And if we could come up with a compelling story that would make a full movie and not just a backstory, there was a potential for a great second movie there. And then we had 2 weeks of mandatory quarantine to get into New Zealand. And during that time, I was in quarantine and I would be writing and FaceTime with Mia, and we would bounce ideas back and forth and collaborate on the script. And then after quarantine, we pitched it to A24 and said, what if we made two in a row? And by this miraculous credit to them, they said, okay. So before we even shot a frame of X, we were already greenlit on Pearl. And that was great because when we made X, we were able to put in all these sort of Easter eggs and things like that. So X is enriched because we knew ahead of time we were making Pearl.
Amazing. Any chance of this being a trilogy? Is there secretly a third movie that's already been shot?
I have not shot a third movie. It'd be great if we made a trilogy, but two movies at the same time is hard enough.
That's a feat in and of itself. So yeah.
Yeah, there's only so much time in a day.
And you used all of it.
I used all of it. Yeah.
That's like the bang for the buck, like maximizing it. So
that's right.
Very cool. Mia, you're not only the titular star of Pearl, you're also an executive producer and a co-writer. What was that process like of collaborating and kind of fleshing out this backstory for this awesome character?
Yeah, I loved, it felt like such a gift, to be a part of Pearl from its conception. This was all very new to me. I've never written anything before. I've never executive produced anything before. This was many firsts for me. And I just, it felt very privileged all along to be able to be a part of this with a film of this caliber, working with Ty and A24. I mean, the greatness of it all really was never lost on me. And I just feel very grateful.
Well, that's a hell of a debut, we'll say. David, the projectionist, is such an interesting character because he's kind of like embodies everything that Pearl thinks, that she is exotic in her hopes and dreams. He's charming, but also kind of a bit like of an eye roll, like charming to a young girl, a little bit of an eye roll sometimes to maybe a woman who's like, okay, you use this line on all the girls, right? Like, but still, I liked him, which is a testament to your skills and your undoubtedly natural charm. So what drew you to the projectionist?
That's very nice of you to say. I was drawn by Ty's initial description of him. There is something in the script mysterious about him, just the fact he doesn't have a name. He describes a little bit of his backstory, but it's sort of questionable whether that's true or not, or how fully he's being honest about where he's come from. But Ty described him sort of as Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins, but obviously in a horror genre, where he really needed to have some magical kind of carefree, upbeat, like really sucking the marrow out of life. And that was what really excited me about playing the character. On the page, sort of reading him as the eye roll, like, oh, this guy is bad news, and then being given the prompt of like, we should like him and he should be a good time, and he shouldn't be in the moments where maybe he's a little foreboding or threatening, they can be followed by moments of lightness and okay, sure, whatever, it's life. So that was a fun thing to get to play with.
He's definitely a good time guy. I still liked him. I liked him. I was worried for him. So
Oh, good. That's
yeah.
a good sign.
All right. Thank you guys so much. As we wrap, Mia, you have these two really long shots that are amazing, this beautiful monologue and also this wordless moment that conveys so much. Can we all do our best, like, unhinged smile as we sign off and just as like the facade cracks?
You can do it better than all of us because evidence.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Pearl hits theater September 16th. Thank you guys.